We'll bring this meeting of the proposed business subsidy tax abatement request to order. John?
Yes. So the purpose of this meeting is to provide public comment on the proposed business subsidy, which is a proposed 10-year tax abatement for property taxes for the property that's located at 1804 3rd Avenue West in International Falls, formerly known as the Coochin County U.S. Army Reserve Center. They're Granite Digital Realty LLC, doing business as Granite Digital Realty Arc 1 LLC, which is its subsidiary, is proposing a development on that property. And in order to provide a business subsidy, we have to have public comment on the proposed tax abatement. There are a couple things that are required in terms of business subsidy. And one of them is the public purpose. And the public purpose of the developer is to provide jobs. He's proposing 17 jobs with annual wages and benefits of $122,000. The request of the term of the abatement is for 10 years. I have a handout. Right now we're working on estimated property values because we're not sure the dates and the construction timeline. And we're also unsure of the tax rate. So I put together a schedule of assumed data, which is an assumed tax rate of our current 2017 tax rate of 37.328%. And so what we did was we estimated what we thought the value is, and then the tax capacity, and then to calculate what the abatement would be, we're going to multiply the net tax capacity by the respective rate. And I provided both city and county rates for you, just as information. So the purpose of this meeting then is just to get public comment.
Anybody like to say anything? Commissioner?
Just for clarification now, proposed with right here now, Jen, would be the abatement will start in 2018. Is that?
The way the developer's agreement is written, we want to pay taxes after closing the property and during construction, and start the abatement when lights go on the facility. And by means of explanation, in the data center industry, property taxes are a pass-through to the client. So two things are important with that. One, it doesn't affect our bottom line positively on the abatement, but it certainly does our clients, and that's the function of seeking the abatement. And any data center development in North America does this, because that then reduces the burden on the tenant and makes the property look attractive for leasing purposes. So we would love to be lights on in 2019. So pursuant to the developer's agreement, that's then when the 10-year period would start running.
Anybody else like to make a comment? Yes, ma'am. Please identify yourself for the record.
I'm Jean Evans. I live in the county up towards the junction. I do have a question that I don't understand all of the complications, the technical aspects, but I do have a question in the journal Science this month. It did talk about DNA as a storage for data, and that was probably the new thing that's going to be coming up in the next few years, and I'd like to know how you're going to deal with that. I mean, what is there going to be more asked of the county and the city in the future, in a few years, because of the development of DNA for storage of data? Is this something that needs to be taken into account at this time?
Not from our perspective. We don't anticipate needing to come back and change this agreement for any reason.
Because the storage of data and DNA will mean that they said that I think all the data in the world could be stored into a small building.
Sure. It's an exciting development that will ultimately impact our industry, begin to impact our industry, probably sometime after 2020. Our development team is very cognizant of technological changes in the past and how that will likely impact us in the future. And there's nobody on the planet that knows about that better than our development partner of HP. So we are well prepared for that. At some point, storage will become more dense, and that's why we are building our facility as a hyper-density facility. And what they're really talking about today is stale data that doesn't need to be accessed in a millisecond. So you won't see it in finance. You won't see it in retail because those databases are always open. So we're talking long-term storage. Furthermore, we will also always need data centers to process the data. When the credit card gets swiped, or the deposit gets made at the bank, or the doctor closes a case, or files a claim at the insurance company, for example. Is that helpful?
Yeah, that helps some.
Good.
But you said 2020, and that's 3 years.
That's one man's opinion, and I am not an IT scientist or an engineer, but we do have them on staff.
Well, I think 2020 minus 2017 is 3 years, and that's not an opinion.
No, my opinion on when the DNA technology begins to impact the data center industry is after 2020. And that is one man's opinion.
Thanks for the question, Gene.
I do have another thing,
Okay.
and that is about HP, or is it IHP, or which is it?
Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Okay. How solid are they today? Because I think they've been a little bit shaky in the last few years. So
You want my opinion on that as well?
I don't know if I want yours. I don't know which
Okay.
opinion to get other than yours.
Okay. So HP is going through a very significant transformation that began in 2015 when HP Incorporated, as we all knew them since 1947, split into two business units. So you still have HP Inc. They changed their ticker to HPZ, and that is the business group that you'll deal with on your printers, PCs, tablets, laptops. And effectively what they did was spin off HPE, which is Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. That is the group that deals with all of the commercial business and the several hundred data centers worldwide that they've built and manage. Part of the split, part of the strategy, as I understand it from the CEO, is to shed unproductive business units, and they've been doing that. So when we started working with them a year and a half ago, they were 220,000 employees, a $100 billion company in revenues, and the Fortune 20th largest public corporation in the United States. HPE is estimating revenues of $35 to $40 billion this year, and none of us know about HP because it's not germane to what we're doing here. So they are shedding business units, however, they are also acquiring some units. Revenues will likely drop, and then if Meg knows what she's doing as CEO, we'll see that come back up. That's the strategy. They're very healthy. They have plenty of cash. Best customers on the planet. They're the largest technology company on the planet still after the split. So we view them as very, very healthy.
Okay. And I have one additional comment.
Okay.
I have thought about this a little bit, and that is that when we do an abatement, which I'm not against doing an abatement, but what I'd like to see is that when a step is completed, the abatement is, when certain things are completed, the abatement continues on. If those steps are not completed, that the abatement, there's some renegotiation or it stops.
Yeah, so we cover that in the agreement because we don't get the abatement unless we build the project. We don't build the project until we go through finance. We don't get finance until we have clients, and that's HP's responsibility. So again, we're not, as the agreement spells it out, we're not entitled to the abatement until the building is open and those employees are working. And we structured that deliberately because we want this to be zero risk for the county, zero risk for the city. We're taking the risk, we're borrowing the money, we've formed the partnerships, we put the development teams together. We just want to be able to help place clients.
Okay. Joe, forgive me, I should have asked you up to the table.
Sure.
Since a lot of these questions are probably going to concern you, and you can use the mic that way as well.
Probably likely.
And maybe your attorney, Steve Schmoen.
Sure,
come up also.
Steve?
Well, I'm not sure that I'll play much of a role here in the hearing.
Okay. I'll call you if I need you. How's that?
Okay.
Bob might probably want to.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may, I know there's been some questions around town about what a data center does. I've got 4 handouts. We do need these back. Paul Nevin is the police officer this evening. There's 3 pages here. I think the commissioners have seen these. Front page is the master plan for the facility. This is our conceptual plan. We're working with HP now on an update, but this is what it'll substantially look like. A lot of the questions came from, what's a data center do? What's it look like? What happens inside the building? So we have some sample pictures of what our open data centers look like. And then we have Hewlett-Packard's psychometric analysis of International Falls weather on any given year that shows our competitive advantage and why data centers need to be in our county. If you'll take your time with them, and then please make sure that Paul gets these back, because there is proprietary information that we don't necessarily want out. I know you want one of these.
You bet that's Bob.
You got one, yeah? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well, other questions for Joe, or? Mayor?
Chairman and members of the board, as a citizen, 414 Shorewood Drive, I support the county approving a tax abatement for this project. As the mayor of the city of International Falls, the county seat, it would be my intention to support a tax abatement when requested from the city of International Falls. Thank you.
Sure.
Question, Mr. Mayor. The city has given preliminary approval to move the project forward, but not officially as a tax abatement yet?
Not as a tax abatement, but we have given a letter of support and adopted a resolution of support for the project, and we'll be considering the tax abatement.
So at that date, whenever it is, the city will have to do the
city will hold a
county has to
hearing.
do.
Same as you are. Thank you.
Other questions? Or comments?
Hello, I'm Bobby Wall. I live just south of the airport in the county here, and I guess about all I know about it is what I read in the paper, and it was a pretty good article. But I think this sounds like a really good thing for the community. I'm in support of it from what I've read so far and know. We do need the jobs up here, and hopefully something like this, once you get started, it'll increase the number of jobs and stuff. You're going to add on to the Army Reserve building, obviously, or build something else, or tear it down and start over, or what?
We will use the existing facility, and then we will add 2 56,000 square foot data center, data halls with backup power production. So ultimately, it'll be 2 phases. We'll be adding 112,000 square foot to the existing property, the existing building. The building will be used for our network operations center, maintenance, and security.
Basically, what I came tonight to tell you guys that I think you should go for this. I think it's good for the town, it's good for the county, it's good for Rainier, good for Little Fork, it's good for the whole area. So I wanted to come and tell you that I think it's a good thing. It looks good. I mean, you're not getting taxes on the place now, as I understand. So it doesn't seem like you're losing a whole lot.
We've been hearing a lot of similar comments like that, so.
Okay, well, you never know. Sometimes only people that are mad show up.
Yeah, I know.
That's what we're worried about.
No, but that's not. Anybody else? Jane?
Just a question quick. If I understand this right, you said you'd be paying taxes until the building is set, or until you start bringing in the contracts?
Correct. We will pay taxes from the date of closing to the day we go lights on. It
And lights
begins-
on includes the jobs for something?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The jobs will be here before the lights are on even. Yes.
How was the weather in New York?
Exciting. Felt just like home. Only we deal with that a lot better.
Further comments? You guys are being too easy.
Pretty easy.
Way too short, too easy.
I really don't have it. The only thing to explain is that we're, on the taxes, there's basically four major taxes: the county, the city, the school, and the state general tax. And the request is only for the county and the city. So the school taxes will be paid and the state general taxes will be paid.
Correct.
Commissioner?
And my question for Bob is that quite common the way abatements work? I mean, generally it'd be the city and county tax and they...
Well, the only one that I'm familiar with is the city of International Falls used this same method when the new border patrol building was built. They had to build a bypass road for the Boise, and they used this vehicle to capture the taxes, any new taxes on that facility, to help pay for that directly. So it didn't go to the general fund, it went directly to pay the bonds on that road.
But it wasn't a forgiveness of taxes.
No, it wasn't forgiven.
In this case, we're forgiving taxes, totally. What is the lost revenue from the value of $6.5 million?
That's the county's estimate there.
And this is, what's your ROI on this project?
We are projecting 14% ROI for our equity investors.
Okay. ROI, that's with leverage then, so it's less with your whole investment?
Well, we're anticipating a 80-20 debt equity split on the
Okay.
capital fundraise. So we'll be borrowing a heck of a lot more than we're selling.
Okay. So your 14% is return on investment or return on total
Return for the
Invest.
equity investor.
just the, okay, so it's much lower than that if you consider the debt as
Yes,
well.
yes.
So what is that?
Don't know.
Okay. All right. And you cash flowed this out 10 years? Or
Yes.
5 years? Okay.
30 years.
30 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Borrowing a lot of money.
How much are you borrowing again?
60 million for phase one.
And of that 60 million, how much goes into the value of the building? Only,
Well,
most of that's operating.
So yeah, it's a $76,500,000 bill.
Okay.
And that's where we're breaking out that 20/80 debt equity split.
So the value of the property is going to be 5 million, but it's
Value of the building,
of the building.
right?
So you're
Right.
spending 76.5 million on a building?
Systems,
On systems.
yes, yes. If you look at the other side of that master plan, you'll start to see some of the systems.
You have to be smart to understand this.
We're pretty happy that we have 44 other smart people on the development
Yeah,
team, yes.
yeah.
So the cost isn't in the value of the concrete building, although it's substantial.
I would say that your return on the total investment must be about 1/5 of what, 14%. So it's got to be
I suppose it depends on how you slice it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Tom Smith is not here to explain that out further. He's done a number of billion-dollar projects globally, so I trust his input on these matters. And the 14% is what he's burned into my head.
Is that an average rate of return for this kind of investment?
Yes.
Anyone else? Further comments?
Acknowledge those 3 receipts.
We did receive 3 emails here. One from Larry Olison, one from Michael Welcome from Voyage Forward, and one from the Chamber, Tony Paul.
So those would be entered into the record then? Correct.
Well, the email that I sent you folks a while back, will that be entered too, or that not because it wasn't in this time frame? That I submitted it earlier?
I've got it on my computer. I don't know if you emailed everyone,
I got it.
I got it to the board members.
but I can print that out and we can enter that in the record
If my
as well.
computer worked right through HP.
Well, then I'm sure it does.
Any further comments? One last time. Joe, do you have anything else that you want to add, or? It's a pretty quiet bunch tonight.
It is a pretty quiet bunch. My understanding is you're voting tomorrow, is that correct?
I don't think we have it on our agenda for tomorrow.
Okay,
But,
so we don't know?
Right.
Okay.
Do we know when we work?
You know, there's the business subsidy policy that we're working on that has to be part of that. If we in fact enter into an abatement, that process would have to be completed before the board decides on makes a final decision about the abatement.
Okay.
So I'll reserve further comments for that day.
All right.
You're good with that, Joseph? I think we're in good shape.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah, we're good.
And we're good.
We're good.
All right. And things went well in New York?
Things went very, very well. Important to note that HPE was very impressed with the work that the local units of government have done already. And that helped escalate this project well higher than we anticipated as far as the executive level in which it's being dealt with right now. We're in very good hands, very good shape, very productive trip. And we thank you for your support. It's an important part of it.
Well, the first day we were here was a little bit longer than we anticipated.
Yes. But we got it. That's the important thing.
And I'm glad it worked out for you. And Jeff, do you have any remarks you'd like to say?
No, I apologize for getting here late. District Court ran long.
That's all right. That happens.
Whose fault was it?
We don't want to throw his honor under the bus.
All right. Well, if there's no more comments, I will close the hearing. All right. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.